What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk of the Tundra, your Green Bay Packers podcast, as a proud partner of the Eurostep Podcast Network and the Blue Wire family. As always, I am your host, Numac. Mind the stutter there. That'll happen often when you're dealing with my fast-paced talking and mumbled voice. So thank you for already accepting my apology. We are here to talk about the Packers looking to clinch a playoff berth with a win this week against the Baltimore Ravens. Uh, Coming off of what is a devastating loss to the Bears, which we'll talk about briefly when we hand out cheeses. Um, Still don't feel good about it. Time heals all wounds. I'm more annoyed about it than I should be, but it's all right. But to talk about all that and
Is
more,
it great at you?
it has grated at me. It has grated at me. That is the lovely, lovely voice of my co-host Jordan Tresky. Jordan, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. You know what I like to say? You turn the page.
Okay, Bob Seger. Pete, no. Yes, Bob Seger.
Pete Seeger.
Is it Peter?
If anybody, if anybody's watched the Bob Dylan movie, this is Pete Seeger.
I'll
This
say
is
okay.
Edward Norton as
Okay.
Pete Seeger.
I'll say I'm
Sorry.
pretty sure. Okay, yeah, it's Bob Seger.
Like a rock.
Close, close. So, a couple of cheeses to hand out at the from the Bears game. Five candidates for y'all. First up, Malik Willis, 9 for 11, 121 passing yards and a passing TD, a 142.8 passer rating, 10 carries for 44 rushing yards. Emmanuel Wilson, 14 carries, 82 rushing yards. Romeo Dobbs, 5 catches on 6 targets, 84 receiving yards, and a touchdown. And that fumble thing, as Jordan put in our notes. Quay Walker, 14 tackles, a TFL, and a pass breakup. Javon Bullard, 10 tackles, 5 of which were solo and a PBU. Um, I'm down for Malik, Quay, and Javon. That's kind of my my pitch to you.
You know,
I'm
I like that.
not giving
I
one to
there.
Romeo. I can't do it.
I had to include him. I had to include him. I am right there with you. I think that those would easily be my top three. I
If
think we have to hand out three.
Yeah,
Two. Um, Before the naysayers come out of there, would work. But yeah, I think Willis, Quay, Javon.
if Emmanuel Wilson got in the end zone, I'd be willing to look at him over Malik. But um, yeah, that's just kind of where we stand on that. So,
Fair, fair.
but yeah, but like 14 carries, 8 rushing yards is a good day for a backup running back turned starter in the middle of the game.
Right?
But
Yeah.
um, he's had he got a cheese for the Vikings game where he went for 100 yards and a touchdown or two. So he set the standard for himself.
Set the standard is correct. You're correct.
So that's it for cheese board, quick and easy. As we continue to look at the fallout from the Chicago Bears meltdown. Um, who's going to be under center is the big question of the week as the Packers play on Saturday against the Ravens.
Bum, bum,
Um,
bum.
Matt Schneidman said or tweeted this afternoon that Malik Willis, who injured his throwing shoulder on the final play of regulation in Chicago, said he expects to be ready to start Saturday night against the Ravens if need be. Jordan Love is not permitted to speak with reporters while in concussion protocol, but he was in the locker room on the phone and said some words in passing. Willis on Love, he's good, he's chilling. So, um, we'll see. It's going to be the main thread of this game to see who is playing quarterback for the Packers. Uh, I think they're fully capable of winning this game with Malik Willis, but you'd obviously like want Jordan Love to play more than you don't. But obviously concussions are serious, and um, you want him to take his time getting back in general. So no need to rush him back. The Packers, if they lose this week, still have a chance to make the playoffs if they beat the Vikings next week. But uh, you just want your starting quarterback in there as often as possible.
Yeah, I mean, this is we're at the mercy of the concussion protocols.
Yep.
Jordan Love is going through them. He's limited in practice throughout the week, but it really just comes down to the sign off. And luckily, the Packers have a capable backup who, yes, he's dealing with his own injury, or I don't know what you want to call it, bang up knock.
I mean, it's an injury. Montez Sweat
It's an injury,
dropped his entire weight
but
on him.
it's it's very fair. Um, so yeah, I just this is where it gets this. Our entire episode is going to be very dicey in terms of like we're officially in Packers just have to win a game. They don't. They don't. We'll get into that scenario in a short while, but they are kind of in. Yes, you need to take care of business going into the season. We saw how last year was, where they lost momentum, if you believe in that sort of thing, and it led to the kind of just playoff flame out that they had in Philadelphia last year. I think they're trying to avoid that this year, but with how many injuries they are dealing with to many prominent players, do you kind of slow play it or let things come as they fall and just see, when to get right at the right time? I don't know. It's a hard, tricky thing to balance when seeding's not really a problem at this point. Like you're just kind of locked in. They were locked in at this point last year too, if memory serves
I
too, because
think so.
they will be the seventh seed if they win. Because I don't think they can. Let me
No,
look at these
no,
standings.
no. If the Bears lose out, so if the Bears lose to the Niners and then to the Lions in the
It's
next
fair. Yeah,
two
yeah,
weeks, and the Packers win the North.
that's true.
That's as simple. It's as simple as it gets. If the Packers win out, the Bears lose out. Um,
But that is the only wiggle room.
Correct. They're either the 2 seed or the 7 seed
Exactly. So,
because the
um,
NFC West is insane this year.
it is though with the 49ers are currently ahead of them. Um, there is some wiggle room beyond just the Bears, but still, my overall point is, um, trying to get right, not trying to force it,
hmm
and you know, injuries just suck. That's kind of where they're at.
Yeah, they do, and I think it sucks the most because like the offense has been working for a few weeks in a row now, where they look like they're
Yeah.
really churning and finding their groove. To have that progress sort of stunted with Jordan Love's concussion and have to move to like a different style of offense for a week or two before the playoffs isn't exactly the strategy I would like to go into going to the playoffs, but that's just kind of the nature of the NFL. You can never predict when guys are going to get hurt, and you have to adapt them to certain ways. So, uh, here's to hoping he can get back for the Vikings game, so he can at least get a couple reps in before the playoffs. But yeah, it sucks that they were looking to be like they finally looked like how they were supposed to on offense all year after they finally get healthy at all their specialist positions for the most part, excluding Josh Jacobs, just like weekly banged upness, as you said.
Yeah.
uh,
Getting banged up.
yeah, like he's nursing multiple injuries across his body, so like I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play either, just to like try and get him a week of rest before the playoffs. And even if then, if the Bears win against the Niners this week and the Packers win too, and the playoff seeding is essentially locked, I wouldn't imagine anybody plays next week or against the Vikings on in week 18.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. That's a next week problem, but
that's
I
right.
can't.
Can't look
I
ahead.
can't.
Can't look ahead.
Well, I was also gonna say I can't imagine that being the case either.
Right. So, um, yeah, let's just that'll be. We'll talk more about the quarterback situation in a minute when we go through the actual game notes and such. But, um, like I said, playoff picture's already kind of in the crystal ball isn't so murky. It's like I said, 2 or 7 seed, depending on outcomes of the Bears game. 5 spots already clinched in the NFC and the AFC. The Ravens are the ninth seed in the AFC and have a 9% chance to make the playoffs. They are in desperation mode as well. To make the playoffs, they need the Steelers to lose against the Browns this week, and then the Ravens face the Bears in Week 18. So, if the Ravens pull off a win this week at Lambeau,
Raiders face the Steelers.
correct. What did I say? The Browns.
Bears.
Oh, Bears. Yeah, the Ravens face the Steelers in Week 18, and obviously the Packers this week. So if the Ravens win out and the Steelers lose out, they would win the AFC North and make the playoffs. But any other situation from that, they miss the playoffs in what is a very weird year in the AFC,
Yeah, but
to say the least.
to say the least. To say the least. Um, Obviously, since we last podcasted, the Lions, um, their I don't know what you call it, their fall from grace
I guess. I mean,
confirmed.
yeah, that's one way to put
Um,
it.
Not to put the final nail their tombstone before they're actually officially dead because they're not out of it yet, but they have not helped themselves at all. Pittsburgh winning in Detroit on Sunday. How does that? How has the last 72 hours changed of your feelings from the meltdown that the midway meltdown, as they're trying to say?
Like, how has the Lions loss made me feel about like the Packers losing, essentially?
Well, because I mean, in the moment, it did feel
Because
like
like
I think
I
even
don't think the Lions meltdown is a meltdown. Like the Steelers were trying to give that game away. This Lions just couldn't come back.
well, I'm just it was more of like it felt like the Bears the two straight weeks of losing Parsons, losing Zach Tom, Evan Williams,
Yeah.
thinking Christian Watson got seriously hurt on that play.
Mm-hmm.
Losing the game was secondary to everything else that happened before that. So then when they go into Saturday and they lose that game in that fashion, pretty much killing any, you know, I shouldn't say any chance of winning the NFC North, but it takes a lot for them to win it. That it just comes down to a self-inflicted, uh, scourge that the
Right.
Bears have to go through. And in the moment, I mean, we were kind of talking about like this could shape their playoff outcome, their playoff hopes. The Lions losing to Pittsburgh, yeah, in the way that they did, of just like this, I don't know, bizarre fashion, but maddening for the Lions, but obviously joyful for Packers fans and Steelers fans. Does it change how you felt in the moment of the Bears game? Not that I would imagine it changed much
Not
because the
really.
game just, yeah.
Yeah. Like, am I happy to see the Lions lose? Yeah, it helped the Packers' playoff chances and such, but it did take away from my anger of the game, for sure.
No, yeah, yeah.
I think like the only upside to this is if the Lions are out next week, like if the Packers win and clinch their spot and the Bears lose against the Niners and the
I mean,
Packers
all it takes is the Lions losing on Thursday, and the Packers are in.
right. But like my point being is that you have the Lions going up against the Bears in week 18.
Oh, yep, yep, yep.
I bet the Lions are going to want to beat the Bears to keep them from winning the NFC North if the Bears lose to the Niners. Like that'd be the best case scenario for their season to like end on a high note. You stick it to your offensive coordinator that left and made sure that he didn't win the division. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they've already beat the bricks off him in week 2. Go and beat the bricks off him again to show, hey, you may have left, but we're still the better team and kept you out of winning the division. Like that's the only saving grace for the Packers. Like of them playing next week if the Bears lose in week 17, is that there's a rivalry already budding between the Bears and the Lions for that reason. And I bet you Dan Campbell's gonna have that team ready to play regardless because they don't want
Easy to
they
go to the neighborhood.
right exactly that's Applebee's. So no, the Bears or the Lions losing didn't make me feel better. It was just like it was a crazy game to watch. That like I had it on and I was like, oh, that's fourth down. I turned something else on or I put my phone down and I was like, why did the score not change? How did they miss that field goal? And sure enough, they missed it. So, but no, it's gonna be a wild week of football. I'll be watching Bears Niners intently.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
especially after how the Niners played the Colts on Monday night.
The summer I turned Purdy.
Did you watch that game at all?
No, I didn't actually.
The Niners haven't punted since the middle of November. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like November 11th or
They're
something.
not like what?
Yeah. It was crazy. Thomas Morrison hasn't punted in like a legit month,
Caught him. No.
right? Who needs them?
Who needs him?
Here, depth
That's insane.
depth chart, punter, Thomas Morstead, game
I
log.
was just about to say like they haven't scored a lot. They've had high scoring games. I don't know what I'm talking about.
He,
41-20, 26,
he hasn't
37, 48.
he hasn't punted since November 30th, almost a month.
Put him on a milk carton.
Yeah, he punted 5 times against the Browns. But yeah, he hasn't
Wow.
punted in a while. So, did he miss a game? I wonder. He's missing a in between game between.
I think they had a late bye week.
Oh, okay, that makes sense as to why that number is so weird. Then
Yeah, they had a bye week in week 14.
got it, got it. Alrighty, let's hop into this Ravens Packers game. Starting off with everyone's favorite bit, the injury report. Uh Packers. It's long. It's really long. So we'll see how this goes. The Ravens. I'll just start with them because it's very short. Um, I should have started with the Ravens. I'm looking at the guy's name first. Chidobe Awuzie, cornerback, has a foot injury. Both the Ravens and the Packers had a walkthrough on Tuesday. Limited in practice with, like I said, a foot injury. Safety, do it all defensive player Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton has an ankle injury. He was a full participant, as was linebacker Jay Higgins, the fourth, with a knee injury coming off of IR. Lamar Jackson has a back injury, a back bruise specifically. He was a DMP if they would have practiced. Um, Questionable for this weekend's game. Like he's day to day, from what John Harbaugh said. Um, Keaton Mitchell, running back, has a calf injury. He was limited, and Andrew Voorhees, distant cousin of Jason, a guard for them, has a foot injury, and he is limited in practice as well. Uh, what are you shaking your head for? What?
I heard it.
I make one stupid joke and you shake your head at me. I get flack for laughing.
Voorhees.
um, for the Packers, it's long. It's really really long. Uh Aaron Banks, neck injury, limited in practice. Quinton Bohanna, a new signing. I have not don't remember seeing
Practice
his name.
squad guy that yeah.
They elevated. Uh, he's sick. He was a DMP on Tuesday. Romeo Dobbs has a wrist injury because the ball hit it too hard. Full participant. Josh Jacobs with a knee and ankle injury, limited in practice. Jordan Love with a left shoulder injury and a concussion, limited in practice.
Oh yeah.
Bull Melton is sick. He's a DMP. Aaron Mosby has an ankle injury. He was limited in practice. Colin Oliver was activated from the PUP. He is with his hamstring injury. He is a full participant in practice, being called Little Micah by his teammates. So, time to live up to that name, pal. Sean Ryan has a knee injury. He was limited in practice.
Reminiscent of Kevin Garnett calling Thon Maker MVP.
That's right.
Put it on him.
Who did I last say? Riley?
Uh, whoever's after Colin Oliver.
Sean Ryan, knee injury. Jordan Riley, ankle injury. Both limited in practice. Zach Tom with his back and knee injury is a DMP. Lucas Van Ness is still nursing his foot injury. He was limited in practice. Christian Watson with his shoulder injury is a full participant. Linebacker Christian Welch has a ankle injury. He was a DMP. Josh Wiley is still in concussion protocol. He was limited in practice. Dontavian Wick still nursing his ankle injury. He was a full participant in practice. Evan Williams with his sprained MCL was limited in practice. John Williams on his way back from IR was limited with his back injury. Savion Williams with a foot injury is a full participant, and Malik Willis's right shoulder was a limited participant as well. So by my guesstimation, eyeing the injury report like 20 players compared to 6 for the Ravens. It's just it's never fun.
No, it's not good when you have as many injured players as players that play on the field on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it's
So
not great.
no
It's not great when you have as many injured players as Phil Rivers has children
children.
and grandchildren. Yeah, it's not great.
Gosh darn heck.
Gosh darn heck. Um, but yeah, the highlights there are Josh Wiley returning to practice if they would have practiced, and Colin Oliver being activated.
Excuse me, little Micah.
Little Micah, yes. They need help off the edge, and maybe he'll be able to provide some juice in some form or fashion. Like this is obviously his first game of the season. Like it's gonna be, he's not gonna be out there a lot, but if the snaps he is out there, he's able to make a difference. That'd be huge for the pass rush. And if Josh Wiley can clear concussion protocol, that'd be big for him too, just to get another tight end that isn't Luke Musgrave out on the field. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do at tight end because they need one that isn't Luke
Yeah, they
Musgrave.
only have two practice squad guys,
Yeah,
and
I'm
how
surprised that
many elevations they're gonna have to make?
I'm really surprised they haven't called Mercedes Lewis. Like
Isn't he on the?
no,
I
he got
forget.
cut. He got cut, but I don't think he got picked up again. So I think he was on the Denver practice
He's
squad,
he
or
correct.
or like I guess on the
He's
Broncos.
on their practice squad, so he can be picked up by um the Packers,
Packers.
obviously, because
You're right. Man is 41 years old. I mean, listen, man,
this is
for two
him
weeks,
and
uh,
Philip Rivers. This is 40.
right, and like we just need him to block. We don't really need him to be running routes. So,
Yeah.
um, Josh Jacobs expected to be limited throughout the week as he deals with his knee swelling per Adam Schefter. That'll be something to look at this week for sure. Is what does Josh Jacobs do? What is his plan for this game? Because like I said, I think they probably let him rest and just run Emmanuel Wilson again, like how they did against the Vikings, and just hope they can give Josh Jacobs a couple weeks rest before their ultimate playoff game in 3 weeks, hopefully.
I think that would be smart.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know how much longer you can kind of do this game with Jacobs, and I think part of it. I mean, he talked about it too, where it's like he's intervening. He wants to play, but it's that thing of is it what's best for the team or is it what's best for him? Like the self interest of the player and the interest of the team are aligned, but it just like I don't know. The moment they if he does get hurt, seriously hurt, then you're relying on Emmanuel Wilson. Then it's Chris Brooks. The fact that Marshawn Lloyd is going through all of the things that he's gone through, it's like I don't know. It's such a to add to what we were talking about before. It's like it makes it even more tricky going into this final stretch run of games where you just don't want to lose that security blanket that they have. And it's like, what is this offense going to be if he isn't on the field? I'm not saying Josh Jacobs is perfect or anything like that, but like, it's clear like this is where how everything gets started. And considering the volatility of the wide receiver room and the injuries that they deal with, it's good to have your engine or different gears in your engine. And Josh Jacobs brings one of those. So it's like, yeah, it would be good. At least like I think maybe they will be more strict with the pitch counts that Josh Jacobs has um not seen eye to eye with at various points throughout the year. Like what was the game first game that was like that? Arizona. Arizona, Denver, forgetting he missed the game obviously too. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like it's gonna be. I mean, like we're aligned on this. It's you don't want him to have to sit out, but like he just needs to rest because winning one of these games is more important than playing in both of them. And when he's not at full capacity, I just don't think he's as effective as he needs to be like the player he needs to be for them to be successful in the run game. Like Emmanuel Wilson just like looks like he has more juice because he's not injured,
Healthy.
healthy. Like it just looks
Yeah.
like it. I think like Josh Jacobs is the better back, obviously when he's healthy, but like he's just not there right now. And so let him get
No,
healthy, let him run against whoever they're going to face in the playoffs, and go for it.
I will say too, like this is probably more of an off-season discussion, but like when it comes to pushing beyond your limits and playing hurt, I mean, I think this is feels like a very steadily um like talking point in any sport you watch because I know like it's been going on with the NBA for a very long time and like and coming back with kind of significant injuries or like things to monitor and you're still pushing through and it leads to even bigger injuries like it feels like we're hearing more of those stories. But in the case of like Josh Jacobs, it's like, I ultimately do get it where you want to claim your spot. Like it is such a very it's alpha dog thing. And the moment that you give it up to someone else who I'm not saying Emmanuel Wilson's like they're the number one in waiting, because we talked
Right,
about that with AJ Dillon for years and that
right,
never panned out. Um, but he has looked capable when he's filled in for Josh Jacobs. He had a great game earlier this year. I mean, obviously, look at Chicago, what he did when Jacobs essentially didn't play for the rest of the game after the fumble. But it's also just like a financial security thing where, like, he's a guy that's playing year to year. His contract is not like guaranteed like a quarterback or a Micah Parsons or a Zach Tom. Like, he's a really good, very important player to this team, but the way that his deal is structured, it's like a lot of these guys are playing year to year. So the moment that you kind of take a back seat to it, or open the door for someone else to kind of claim your spot that you carved out for yourself, like that makes a lot of things more harder. Now playing hurt might backfire for those reasons, like I don't know. It's kind of, as we near the end of the season, I feel like that's a lot of the decisions that we talk about, especially when we look at through a fantasy realm and you're hearing about guys that like, who the hell is this dude that you're starting when you're trying to win a fantasy football championship? It's like, because other guys are just like, I can't do it anymore.
right. Regarding his contract, he's under contract for 2 more years with the Packers, including a $14 million cap hit next year and $16 million in 2027. Dead cap of $6 million next year and $3 million the year after that if he gets cut. So it's possible, but I think if he continues to just like operate at this level, like his season long level, he'll be just fine. Like I would like
Oh, I
on
think so too. It's
right,
just
but like
more.
no. Like I totally get what you're saying. To like where he doesn't want to like not play this to get healthy because like Emmanuel Wilson, if he shows up, like could take his spot. Yeah, that's always a concern with all these guys because they, like you said, it's always next man up. What are you gonna do, sort of thing. But he's at he's missed like one game for sure and parts of a lot of games, and he's at
I think
13 touchdowns and 926 yards. So like he's if he plays next week or if he plays this week or whatever, he has a good chance of hitting 1,000 yards for a lot of seasons in a row now. Um, and so it just I'm trying to look quickly. Um, after he set the or the year before he set the rushing, like he went all from all those yards in 2022. He played in 15 games, ran for 872, but he's ran for 1,000 yards 4 out of his 6 seasons so far. He's on pace to break that to be 5 out of 7. So he's definitely like fully capable of. Or I'm sorry. Oh yeah, 5 out of 7. Fully capable of getting to 1,000 yards every year. He's a hard running back. He puts himself into a lot of contact, and I'm looking at um some stats here if I can find it quick. He is 10th in the league in yards after contact. Like
yeah.
he's got 712 yards after contact. He's getting hit a bunch. I'm trying to see if it's I can find. It will take a second to find, but I was looking at other stats today. It's like, yeah, a lot of yards at their contact because the line stinks for some of
Yeah,
these
they're not getting
guys,
as much push.
right? So, um, but yeah, that here's to hoping he's healthy and like I let's just have him hopefully rest for 2 weeks and Malik Willis and company can lead him to a win. So,
I
uh,
would like that.
let's talk about Malik Willis and that passing game for things to watch for during this game.
Let's talk about Malik.
Let's talk about all the good things and all the bad things, because the good thing is that the offense keeps clicking with him under center. The bad things is that he's currently nursing his throwing shoulder. Like, I think if he's ready to go, if he says he's ready to go on Saturday, that'll be just fine. I don't really have interest in having Clayton Tune be the backup quarterback, but that's where we'll be.
Name that tune.
Name that tune. Um,
Clayton!
but um, like I think he's fully capable of leading a team to a win. Like it's just gonna be a little more high stress than it needs to be if Jordan Love was under center per se. And I think we saw it against the Bears defense. Like he's fully capable of making good throws. I think the only like bad thing you could say about his I guess two bad things you could say about his performance was just the botch snap and then missing Christian Watson on the what would have been a touchdown on the slant over the middle when he passed it to Luke Musgrave instead. Not a bad play. Like Luke Musgrave was open and went for a big chunk play. He just didn't go through his progression enough or didn't stick with Christian Watson long enough to see the touchdown that would have been had he stuck with him. So either which way, Malik Willis very capable quarterback and capable of clinching a playoff spot for this team. It's just will he play? Because and how effective will he be if he plays? Because if his throwing shoulder is hurt, like that's gonna affect their effectiveness a lot, especially if Josh Jacobs is out as well. Like you can only run read options and zone options so much effectively before the defense realizes that's all you can do and not throw the ball 20 plus yards on the field because it hurts a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting um, kind of test case because even when we were watching him in Chicago or the games that he started for Jordan Love when he was hurt last year, you didn't see a lot of Malik Willis throwing it. And that was obviously by design. Like that was kind of what helped them overcome the absence of Jordan Love and kind of the uncertainty after that, Eagles, Brazil, Sao Paulo loss. His ability to hit wide receivers down the field and kind of take the top out of defenses, that was used as kind of like the hammer, that like the jabs of Josh Jacobs on the ground. Obviously, Emmanuel Wilson in a more extended role will substitute that as well. So I don't think anything. I think it's like 75% there, even with knowing that he's not 100% with his shoulder. Probably throwing a lot, even as much as he can, and limited participation throughout practice. I don't think that really helps him at this point either. Um, but it's not like the Packers are super run heavy with when Malik Willis is on the field, and he can still be a danger and he can still be a threat on the run, whether it's through the RPOs or play action passes that protection breaks down. He goes out wide, extends for plays to get the sticks moving, so to speak. But it is kind of the big question is hitting guys, connecting with the weapons, the whiteouts, and ultimately it could be very similar to the Bears game where Packers had no problem moving the ball down the field. They just didn't score in short yardage situations. They didn't score in the red zone. That's been the biggest. That is the Packers' Achilles heel, and it's lingered for a very long time. Even dating back to Aaron Rodgers last year, like they just don't have those kind of like I don't know what you want to call it, but just like these I gotcha plays or like that level of like these foolproof plays.
Yeah, they just don't have the efficiency that they had when in the LaFleur Rogers era, like when it was the gold zone, when they were scoring every time they were
Yes.
going down there. And I think part of that too is that like they don't have the connection that Rogers and Devontae had. Like Rogers
No.
and Devontae could close their
It's
eyes
the
and run a
biggest
back shoulder fade to the corner of the end zone for a touchdown.
it's honestly the biggest problem that the Packers, if we talk about like the way that LaFleur has the offense, and the move towards anybody can make a play at any moment. The number one wide receiver kind of discussion that always lingers on since they moved on from Devontae, yada yada yada. The biggest problem where that shows up is in the red zone. And some years it was Romeo. I mean, Tucker Crouch helped this a lot as he emerged before getting hurt. But, and, I would think it's Christian Watson as well. But it's just
I
still,
was gonna say I also think it's Christian Watson, but
it's just not completely there that you could say, like, this is like, I wonder where they actually rank this year in terms of like red zone efficiency. I can't imagine it's top 15.
go ahead and talk about it because I just have some thoughts on it too. Like I think to your point, it probably is Christian Watson, but it's easy to take away like a single guy in in the red zone, right? And it's, like in passing in the red zone's hard because the field is so much shorter. Like there's just it's just so much more of a compact area. I know that's high level analysis for this pod, but it's just it's hard to run offenses down there, and they have guys who can get open, but it's not necessarily consistently getting open. Like Devon or Dante Mix is like their guy that gets open. I think Matthew Golden can get open with the best of them. He just isn't getting snaps, and so a lot of their routes to get open are really shallow. Right? It's throughout the two or
In
three.
the shallow.
Is that supposed to be that song that Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper sang?
Yeah, sorry.
Um, if they're within the 10-yard line, it's usually just quick outs at the goal line with Romeo Dobbs, or like it used to be Tucker Kraft, and so like you said, Kraft being hurt really hurts that, and I just yeah, it I don't want to say it feels stale, but like sometimes it's just they expect to get.
It's Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is their red. Like, I
I
mean,
mean,
he's got 13
honestly,
touchdowns.
right? I'd imagine a lot of them probably at least 11 because there's the 40
A lot
yarder.
of 1 yard
Well,
touchdowns.
the
They will
40 yarder was
tell
is
you.
one of them, but I
Yeah.
can imagine a lot of the other ones come within the 5 yard line.
I just looked this up. This is a microcosm of how random football is. You could look at analytics and anything like that, but I just want to tell you how funny this is. So the Packers rank 14th in red zone efficiency with 58.9%. The team ahead of them is the Dolphins, funnily enough, and the team behind them is the Chiefs. The Bears are actually 16th, funnily enough.
In red zone efficiency.
Can can you name me the team that has the highest red zone efficiency this year?
You're gonna it's gonna be a team that sucks because it's how funny football is. But
Um,
I can't like my best
the,
guess would be the Colts.
they're third. Second is the Commanders.
That's funny. Okay,
Yeah, it is funny.
who's first?
First is the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah, because again the touch push, like they just keep
I know,
pounding it
but
down
it's
there.
just also like knowing how everybody is talking about their offense, and we know it's not great this year. Like it's not the same,
Right.
but it's just funny how it's like, oh yeah, they had the best red zone offense by efficiency standards.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um, I'm trying to find the weeks or the like the touchdowns that he has scored.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, because I'm just curious at this point, but there's no like easy way to see that, so
Yeah,
I'll just punt on that, figuring out what that stat is. But regardless, um, yeah, if they can figure that out, and if Malik Willis, like I think that's where like the red zone stuff is gonna get really hard because like Malik Willis isn't that type of like talented passer, and like he can throw the ball at the best of them. Like he's thrown some tight window throws, but when it gets so tight down there, what are you gonna do with your offense, especially again when you need to make perfect throws to get touchdowns? So
I
it'll
actually
be up to Matt LaFleur to scheme guys open that way.
I have you. I have helped you with looking for the distance for Josh Jacobs
Oh,
and his
okay.
touchdowns. Four of his 13 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
Sorry, three of his 13 rushing touchdowns um, have come beyond 20 yards, so outside of the red zone.
Okay.
He obviously had the receiving touchdown too, so
Yep.
that necessarily. But yeah, everything is 3, 2, 1, 3, 7, 1, 3, 1, 6, 2.
That is about what I anticipated.
Yeah,
So yeah, if they can get down there and he plays, which again, we'd prefer he wouldn't, but that'll probably be the plan of attack. And then I'm sure the Ravens know that, and which will turn into a play action dump off to whomever. So, um, anything else on Malik Willis?
I'm excited to see him start. I wonder. I think part of last year with how well they played with him in place of Love came as kind of like the shock factor. I mean, the first
Mm-hmm.
game was against the Colts, if I remember correctly, pre Philip Rivers.
Oh, last year his first game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the Colts, and I forget the other game that they played with him.
I forget.
Um, that's neither here nor there. But
No, Jaguars.
uh,
No, that was with Love. He played the Jaguars game, but he
he
didn't.
did play. Yes,
He didn't
correct.
start.
I do wonder how that will hold up with the Ravens, and knowing that it's you know it's more likely than not that Malik Willis plays because Jordan Love is it's
In concussion protocol.
in concussion protocol. So what does 7 days of preparing or 6 days, 7 days? Sorry. Um, no wonder the Ravens are scared of the ring.
God.
Um, yeah, you know my point.
Yeah. Um, for what it's worth, the Ravens are like middle of the pack this season in turnovers. They only have 10 interceptions to 8 fumbles forced. So it's not like they're ball hawking like the Bears, the Jaguars, and the Texans are, who lead the league in interceptions.
Part of that is their defense is just stunk.
Yeah, which like plays well for the Packers and Malik Willis. Like if there's a team that you want to go against these last 2 weeks, it's the Ravens and the Vikings.
Remember going into the right after the season was or the schedule was released, and we circled this game for Lamar Jackson and old friend Jair Alexander.
Yep. Neither which will play.
Neither of which will play. I mean, one of
Well,
them's not even in
Lamar
the league
Jackson
right now.
might, but
We'll see.
yeah, with his back contusion. So, um, I mean that's like the other part of it too. Is like this game was supposed to be great. They flexed it to Saturday night, prime time, and it's gonna be Tyler Huntley and or yeah no Brett Hundley,
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley. Yes, okay.
Brett Hundley
Brett Hundley is
is
the old Packers backup.
yeah.
Yes, Tyler Huntley and Malik Willis instead of Jordan
Snoop.
Love and Lamar Jackson. Like Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. Like Derrick Henry is the only guy for sure playing out of those four.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be a game. That's for certain. But like if Lamar Jackson plays or doesn't play, I'm not like intimidated by either quarterback. Lamar Jackson's had a pretty bad year. He went a stretch of games this year without throwing a touchdown, like 5 games or so in November. He's been hampered by injuries this year. Just hasn't been himself. Down year for sure. And then with like Snoop Huntley, he played the Packers well once in Baltimore. I think that was a couple years ago now. But like a couple years later, different environment, not at home. I think it just like the odds are tilted in the Packers' favor if either Jordan Love or Malik Willis play in this game. Because like the secondary hasn't been good as we've talked about without Micah Parsons. Like it just is different without the pass rush getting there. But I'm not afraid of Lamar Jackson really hurting the Packers. I'm more afraid of Derrick Henry, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Lamar Jackson obviously has not been invincible, both in terms of staying on the field and just what he's looked like playing hurt throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like the best stretch that he was playing was recent weeks as the Ravens kind of were rebounding from their 1-5 or 1-6 kind of just sloppy, terrible start to the season.
A lot of
They're
without
just
Lamar Jackson.
a lot of it, yeah, exactly. And I don't know, like they're just kind of in this weird spot where it feels like it feels a lot bigger than just playing out the rest of the season hoping that you make it into the playoffs. Like this very well could be the end of the run for John Harbaugh, who's been there for 18 years. Like there are some Ravens fans who
Well, there's
only
a
know him
lot of
as,
Ravens fans that don't want John Harbaugh there anymore. Like
and
I see enough
sometimes
chatter on Twitter of like people just like it's the same reason people want to get rid of Mike Tomlin. It's the same reason people want to get rid of established, long tenured coaches. It's because
yeah,
it just feels stale at some point. And like they're
the
good
voice doesn't
coaches,
reach as much as it used to.
right? Like I mean, we joke about Mike Tomlin all the time. Over 500 in a playoff berth. Like that's just what he does, and it's not fun the entire way. Like they look worse for wear
No,
typically, but they make the playoffs, and like that's what football is. You can make the playoffs, anything can happen. And same thing with the Ravens. Like I don't think this year is the year they'd fire John Harbaugh. I think they would need like a fully healthy team to also fall short of expectations for an entire season for him to finally get canned. But I don't think they're gonna get rid of John Harbaugh this offseason.
no, but
But to your point, this isn't just a
there's more evidence of that being an arguable case than
right.
ever.
Right. And I
You
think
know,
like to your point, this isn't just like, okay, we'll see how this goes for the Ravens these last two games. Like, okay, just finish out the season, we'll come back next year. Like, yeah, there's a lot of conversations to be had about what do they do with Zay Flowers and what do they do with Derrick Henry, who I think is still signed through next year. I think he signed a 2-year deal this past offseason. But like, what are their draft priorities? Like, who do they want to cut bait from on defense? And like, yeah, there's a lot of discussions to be had with this team as they try and figure it out. Like, I don't think they'd ever trade Lamar Jackson, but like, I'm sure they've thought about it this season, just because like when he came back, he didn't look good, and so he signed that big deal. And if they don't think they're going to be in a place that actually compete with Lamar Jackson, which I think is like a probably a disillusioned thing for the Ravens organization to think. Maybe they try and trade him for a king's ransom or something to some team that is really desperate for a QB. Maybe a team in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Either of them.
I don't know. It's very interesting. And part of it too is like they've had some really bad losses, and they've
Yeah,
been really like
they also no they beat the Bears. How they beat the Bears.
they beat the Bears, but like think back to the first game of the season where they were up big. It felt like the game was in hand against the Buffalo Bills. They come back
Oh, I
in
forgot
this
about
dramatic
that.
fashion. That kind of just set the tone for the weird year that they've had.
Yeah,
And I don't know. There's
but like it's
playoff
also
odds to
like
play for,
none of their
but
losses have been particularly close besides the Bills game. Like
that's the yes,
I mean, I
yeah.
guess the Steelers loss and the Patriots loss last week is tough, but they lost 32-14 to the Bengals, 17-3 to the Rams, 44-10 against the Texans, 37-20 against the Chiefs, 38-30 against the Lions. Like it hasn't been particularly pretty this year.
No.
So, all right, let's talk about Derrick Henry. Uh, Still pretty good running back, believe it or not. Baltimore has the third best rushing attack in the league at 147 rushing yards per game. The Packers led up 150 total rushing yards to the Bears last week, second most in the of the year that they've allowed in a game. Second most to Carolina being first. Um, Run defense has been good individually. Like they held both of those running backs to 50 yards last week, and I think Caleb Williams had like 30 on scrambles or something. So like it's not like they're getting gashed by a single player. Like the Carolina game is the outlier, I think, this year. This will be a test for them for sure. Because like Derrick Henry is a different type of back than they've faced at all this year, and so like he's just a one of one back in general. Um, he is fifth in the league in yards after contact at 873. Like he's always gonna barrel through guys. Um, I think looking at this number, oh, I didn't do minimum rushing attempts. Um, Trying to find Derrick Henry. Yeah, he's sixth in yards after contact per attempt at 3.48. So it's just like he's just good barreling through contact. And that'll be interesting to see if Evan Williams plays. Like, if Evan Williams plays and can be a run stopper as best he can, because, like, Derrick Henry versus Evan Williams is not a fair fight. But he's a body that'll get there and plug a hole. And hopefully the team can then team tackle and bring him down for a short gain versus, like, the chunks he's good at breaking. Derrick Henry in his career against the Packers has been, I'd say, just okay. Um, 31 rushing yards on 9 attempts in his first game in 2016. In 2020, he had 23 carries and 98 yards. That was the bad Titans loss in the COVID season, if I remember correctly. Um, that might have been a year or two later, though. They lost to the Tannehill Titans, right? And we were pissed about it.
Yes, that was 22.
So then this is the next game. 28 carries for 87 yards on touchdown, um, including 2 catches for 45 yards through the air. So he hasn't been dominant for sure. Like, his highest game being 98 rushing yards is, I'd say, probably good. Like, Derrick Henry is capable of rushing for 200 on any given day, even now as what, almost 10-year veteran, something like that. So
Not
I
longer.
think it's 9. I think he was drafted in 2016. Um, so maybe it's his 10th season, but regardless, um, yeah, if they can stop Derrick Henry, I think they, like, overall have a good chance of winning this game because, like I said, I'm not afraid of their passing attack for the sole purpose of none of, like, their receivers or pass catchers really scare me. Like, that's kind of been their Achilles heel throughout the Lamar Jackson tenure is that they haven't really had a guy. And, like, at one point their guy was Mark Andrews, but he's, like, hot and cold at best sometimes. Like, he had a pretty bad fumble against the Patriots last week, and like, I think he's just gonna be. I think maybe it's me making mountains out of molehills or making mountains out of smaller mountains. But, like, after the Bills game last year where he had those two flubs, I just think his career is gonna be kind of, I don't want to say waning, but it's gonna be hard to live up to the expectations of what he was before that game last year because, like, he was one of the best tight ends in the NFL for a while, and this year he's played in, oh, let's see if I can do some quick math here. He's played in what looks like to be all of their games. He has 42 catches for 380 yards and 5 touchdowns. That is not the Mark Andrews of like yesteryear, or the Mark Andrews
No.
that is meant to be feared. In 2021, he had 1,300 yards on 107 catches and 9 touchdowns. I mean, even last year he had 11 touchdowns for 673 yards. Like, he's typically always up there in the receptions. Like, the 2021 year was kind of thought to be like his, like, breakout season. This is gonna kind of be who he is. Not so much anymore. Like, he's on pace to have the third lowest catches in his career, despite playing all the games. Like, he had 2023 only played 10 games and only had 45 catches, but he's at 42 through 15 games right now. Like, that's not good for Mark Andrews and the guy that we thought he was going to be. And then you go to guys like Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers. I think even DeAndre Hopkins last year, like, they're they just don't have, like, a guy. Like, don't get me wrong, I was a Zay Flowers fan coming out of college. I wanted the Packers to draft him, but, like, they still have DeAndre Hopkins. Like, what has he done this year? I feel like it hasn't been a lot, right?
No.
Oh, DeAndre Hopkins was with the Chiefs last year, was he not? And then he signed with the Ravens this year. Um,
Yes, yeah, because the
yeah,
Chiefs didn't they trade for him?
maybe, I don't know, but regardless, 22 catches, 330 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's what I expected 33-year-old DeAndre Hopkins to do. And,
Yeah.
like, it's just the way it goes for them. Like, they signed Rashad Bateman to an insane extension. I didn't understand that when they did it because I they signed Rashad Bateman to that extension. I want you to guess how many receptions he has
This year,
this year. He's played in.
$27.
Hold on. I'll tell you how many games he's played in. He's played in 12 games.
27.
Lower,
24.
lower,
21.
lower.
18.
Yes. He has
Dear God.
18 catches for 217 yards. And as I type in spotrac.com, I think he got 484. that might be pulling that number out of my butt, but I think he got a pretty decent extension from the Ravens this offseason. Uh his extension, yeah, I was pulling it out of my butt, but it's still pretty big for him. 3 years, $36 million,
20 million guaranteed.
20 million guaranteed.
Which I mean, if
Contrast
you
that with the most yards he had in a season was last year at 45 catches for 756 yards and 9 touchdowns. Like, they must have really expected him to break out. He barely he eclipsed his total yards prior to last season was less than 1,000. Yeah, ish. He had 515, 285, and 367 in 30, I can't do quick math, 35 career games and 4 touchdowns. So he had over 50% of his yards and he doubled his touchdowns in one season. To me, like, that's not give extension money to. But that's neither here nor
part of
there.
that obviously is you know byproduct of not having Lamar healthy for much of the year. But
But no,
yeah.
but like even before that, Lamar was healthy in 21, 22, and 23.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's more I feel like the Ravens outside of Derrick Henry and he's no spring chicken, but they've had a lot of the same kind of like supporting cast weapons. Like getting a DeAndre Hopkins in the back half of his career, like that's a good wide receiver three in theory. Zay Flowers, kind of this blossoming wide receiver one that they
He's
picked
good.
because
He's
he's good. He's good, but he's
78 catches, 1,000 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Like that's
I
the
think
problem.
isn't he was their first wide receiver that went made it to a Pro Bowl last year in like franchise history.
That would surprise me.
Um, yeah, like they just needed more weapons and to kind of get a boost for Lamar and passing attack and yada yada yada. But like
Hmm.
it is like Mark Andrews is not the same. He's not an all pro level tight end. Isaiah Likely's kind of always been nippy at his heels, but and it kind of feels like he's getting his opportunity to,
Well, that's the thing too, is that like every time that Isaiah Likely would look to like start to eclipse Mark Andrews and kind of
he
be the
reaches the
guy.
goal line and then just like the ball just gets punted out of his hand.
Well,
You know,
that, and then they just like stop going to him. Like I thought Isaiah Likely was going to take over like pretty quickly here. He's still only 25. He has definitely has time to do so, but like he just doesn't get the looks. He has what 2 games this year where he has targeted more than 6 times, and he's like their third best pass catcher,
not higher.
if not second. Like Zay Flowers is one. Who do you put two?
I don't know.
Like Isaiah Likely, excuse me, is like I think is what Kyle Pitts is thought to be, just like not used as effectively. Like I think they're molded in the same idea of their big tight ends that can be very dynamic in the receiving game.
Yak machines.
Right. And so, but like his high for yards this year is 95. I mean, 5 catches on 6 targets for 95 yards against the Bengals. He has 1 touchdown. One.
Well, it should be more.
Right. It should be a lot more.
It should be two more
I
at least
understand that,
specifically.
Jordan, but like it should be a lot more. And so to
Yeah, I
make
mean,
this whole point, like I'm not confident in the secondary, right? I haven't been for a while now. I think like
it's burying home to roost.
right. And so like the Zay Flowers is the guy I'm most concerned about like in the pass catching, like in the receiving game this week against the Ravens. If they can just scheme him to make sure he's always covered, I'm not worried about Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Rashad Bateman, and DeAndre Hopkins beating us for the sole purpose of like they just haven't been able to produce all year long. You hope that that's not that this isn't the game they get right with it, but I think they're just gonna pound the rock with Derrick Henry and try and open up the passing game that way because I think that's the really only way that the passing game can get going for them.
Yeah, I know. I think even how they lost on Sunday was very interesting because it wasn't there like something about Derrick Henry kind of was the machine to them leading the Patriots at like the start of the fourth quarter, and they go away from him, and then all of a sudden this offense sputters, and New England comes back to win that game.
Yep.
Um, I think your overall point of like Zay Flowers is he is the guy that the Packers have to key in on secondary wise, coming after pretty terrible game for both Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon. Who's going to get the lion's share of those assignments? Is it going to be evenly split? What does Nate Hobbs do in at slot corner? Probably covering, I'd imagine Hopkins, maybe
Well,
even
that's the slot guy is Zay. Like Zay is their slot guy.
that is yeah, that is true. Yeah,
It's Rashad and DeAndre Hopkins on as the X and
on the
Y.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that yeah, how they figure that out could be really confusing for them. I mean, this is where the threat of two tight ends between Andrews and Isaiah Likely
Is a
complicates things
problem? Right,
further.
for sure.
So it's not great. I mean, can it be negated from the fact that you don't have an MVP level quarterback under center that
Yeah.
you're going against? Like how Tyler Huntley processed the game is way different than Lamar Jackson. Um, but what does it come down to? It comes down to can the Packers have a pass rush that forces the issue, gets after the quarterback, makes them have to throw dangerous reads, throw the ball away, get them out of the pocket. Huntley's obviously, adept at getting out of the pocket in his own right. But like those won't be the Flowers, the Andrews, the name any skill player weapon that they have. Those won't be problems if the Packers can take care of business in the front four. And last week or Sunday, sorry,
Saturday.
Saturday, they didn't do a good enough job of doing that.
At all.
It was really interesting. I think there were some plays where we saw. I remember one specifically, like Carl Brooks is dropping back. You can make the Joe Barry comparisons, but I think if you're playing zone and your best pass rushers are your linebackers between Quay Walker and Edrin Cooper, and they're flying up the, you know, dead center, and it forces Caleb Williams to throw the ball away. He did throw the ball away in that play, if I remember. I believe that was the play that he was getting really.
Got the intentional grounding on.
If it wasn't that, it might have something like that. Anyway, one, it's illustrative of like they're not getting it from the ends. Maybe that improves for Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Bernard Cox Jr., maybe even Colin Oliver, Lil Micah. Um, but I just wonder what Halfley is going to be able to do. Where like how you could do all the bells and whistles to kind of overcome that, but if your best pass rushers are your linebackers, and it forces your D linemen to have to drop back in zone, even if it's four plays like that, it's like mm, it's tough to kind of get around that issue
It's not
of
encouraged.
no, it's not encouraged. It's not encouraging.
No.
So let's hope that we don't be talking about this Saturday night.
Yeah. Hopefully so. So, anything else to watch for Jordan, or should we do our players to watch and score predictions?
Quoth the Raven never score.
That's the hope. That's the hope. Um, alrighty. Who are your players to watch, Lub? I think it's your turn to start.
Mm, would be boring.
That's fine. Be boring. We would like a
Actually, I'm
we
not
would
gonna be
like a
boring.
boring win this week.
Rashawn Gary.
Ugh. Talk about it.
Let's see him get home. I kind of was thinking
You're
because
gonna
I
you're
saw
gonna
some
die in your seat waiting for it.
uh, I saw some interesting reactions to Rashawn Gary. And you know how like the big rap of him was like coming out of college is that he's this, he was the number one player in his class coming out of country, going to Michigan, yada yada yada. And the big thing against him was like he gets pressures, he just can't complete sacks.
It's been his story of
And
his
it's like
career. Sometimes they're right.
it's just sometimes they're right. He just like he's a good player and he does things well. It's just
Period.
he kind of feels like a microcosm of like the Packers. Of like there's one player that sums up like the Packers is like he does things well.
He almost does it.
Yeah.
They almost do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Because
see.
he hasn't had a sack since
It's been like
what's this?
it's been like a month and a half. It's been a
Yes.
while.
It's been a while, to say the least.
Putting a stain on his season.
I would say. He's at 7.5 sacks on the season. His last
Remember we were talking about him finally getting to double digits when you get to 7.5. I remember. Remember?
yeah.
Remember Jordan?
Oh, he has not had a sack since the Pittsburgh
I
Steelers
know.
game.
I know. It's been a while.
Holy crap.
That's the pre Thanksgiving one, right? The week before.
That was October 26th.
There you go. It's been nearly it's
2 months.
it'll be two
It'll
months
be
on
2 months.
before the game on Saturday. It's
It's
insane.
been
And
2 months since you sacked me.
um and they don't even have a buy in there. 8 games.
That
Eight.
is correct.
8. It's insane. He just it's not good. It's not good. Um my player to watch is the player I hate the most. It's gonna be Keyshawn Nixon. Like if they're gonna throw, they're gonna throw at him. I'm sure they're gonna throw at if they're gonna. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Again.
But like, if DeAndre Hopkins wants to have like a legacy game, not a legacy game, but like a return to form of what he was in his earlier career, like he could sun Keyshawn Nixon all game long just for the sole purpose of he's just bigger than he is. And yeah, I'm worried about that matchup if that's what they decide to exploit. So yeah, DeAndre Hopkins for the I'm sorry, Keyshawn Nixon for the Packers, and my Ravens be boring, be Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry just rumbles and tumbles his way to a big game, the Packers are gonna have a hard time winning this one. Who's your Raven?
Um. Actually, you know what? I gotta go on. We didn't really touch on him.
Okay.
Marlon Humphrey.
Okay, speak on it.
We didn't really talk about like how the Packers can dissect this Ravens secondary, but it has not been good. Marlon Humphrey per next gen stats. Marlon Humphrey has been targeted 71 times this year. Nate Wiggins has been targeted 94 times, which was the most in the NFL pre Patriots game. Um, Humphrey has allowed 624 yards in coverage, the sixth most in the league, with Wiggins close behind with 591 yards allowed, seventh most.
Jeez.
Uh, it's this is why the Ravens went after Jair Alexander. They needed help in the secondary. Marlon Humphrey, I believe, was an All Pro a couple years ago, like at
Mm-hmm.
least like knocking on the door to be that kind of a once considered an elite corner. Doesn't really have that label anymore. I would be very interested to see how a guy like Christian Watson can kind of take advantage of Marlon Humphrey's kind of sticky coverage or lack thereof, um, and turn that against him. Big play opportunities available there. It's obviously dependent on what Malik Willis. Just gonna write in red pen that it's Malik Willis. Honestly,
Yeah.
what he's able to do on the field and the passing game, connecting on those big plays, however many that there are. But like this is where even with the state of the team and the injuries that they have, like Packers offense with Matt LaFleur, with Malik Willis, with Emmanuel Wilson, even if it's Josh Jacobs, kind of being a 50-50, like they're set up to kind of do the jab, 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 hammer, jab, jab, like how they've done it the last 2 years. So take advantage of some shoddy cornerback play, and hopefully, you don't have to worry about scoring in the red zone because you connected on a 56-yard pass or something like that.
That'd be sick. That'd be really sick.
Sick, sickness.
Score predictions. You know the deal.
It's so weird to feel like rosy or optimistic, even with like the injuries. Like they kind of got out of dodge a little bit outside of just under or enduring through one of the worst like meltdowns and
Yeah,
since the conference championship game.
yeah.
I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Okay. Do you think they're gonna win?
I think they will, but I'm really not confident. I'm going to go Packers 21, Ravens 16.
Going 23-20 Packers.
The streak is alive.
Always will be. I'm picking them to win the rest of the
Is
season.
that true?
Yes, it
You,
is.
you picked them to lose early this year.
It was the first game of the season.
No, it was not.
Who did they play in the first game? The
Um,
Lions, right?
yes.
Yes, I picked them to lose. I have not picked them to lose since.
I thought you picked the Eagles. It was a mid-season game.
Let's look. I'm getting my
Because
loyalty
we were
tested here.
down bad. We were really down bad.
You're not wrong.
Because the Eagles game wouldn't the Eagles game wouldn't have come after the Panthers game.
Let's see. Open this. I didn't write mine. I have you having the Eagles winning twice.
You redacted it?
No, I just didn't write it down.
You redacted it?
And with that, folks.
Release the files.
With that, folks, I'm gonna put a black block over Jordan and I's head for the thumbnail of this pod. That'd be a crazy thumbnail to release.
Actually, I mean, if you wanted to do that,
No,
it'd be really funny.
no, it would not be funny.
Going around these days.
Stop. We're not going there.
Sorry.
um, thank you for listening, folks. We'll be back in your podcast feeds probably Saturday night, Sunday morning with the going live after the game, most likely.
Is this is a Peacock?
Yes. I want to see your peacock. Cock. Is that Lady Gaga? I think it is.
I think so. Or Katy Perry.
I think it's Lady Gaga.
Peacock, eh?
Yes.
Is this a Tarico?
No, it'd be NBC. So it'd be.
He's NBC.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, Trico and Collinsworth. Well, no, it'll probably be their B team. Because I'm sure they're doing Sunday Football or wherever. You know. Doesn't matter.
Matt Schneidman. Ugh.
What about? He's not commentating.
It's Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, and Catherine Tappan.
I like Noah Eagle. I'm fine with that.
I
But
wanna fly like
we're getting out of here, Jordan. No more singing. Thank you all for listening. Well, go subscribe on YouTube, Talk of the Tundra, to check out the live podcast after the game on Saturday. We'll be in your podcast feed Sunday morning with the recap. Go check out Gyro Step and with all things Bucks from Ty and Rohan as the Bucks beat the Pacers tonight. So go check out that. All things GSPN at gspn.info and an invite to the Discord in the About section over there. Thank you again all for listening. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. We'll see you. I think Hanukkah ended today or earlier or yesterday, but hope you had a good Hanukkah as well if you're practicing. Thank you again all. Appreciate you all during this time of year. And Jordan, thank you.
Thank you.